Have you ever wondered if the upgraded version of something is really worth the extra money? I recently had the chance to find out, and what I discovered about the Tesla Model Y Standard versus the premium version might surprise you. Tesla graciously let me borrow the new Model Y Standard trim for a few days. As a proud owner of a Model Y long-range all-wheel drive, which I purchased back in August, you can read about my switch from an IC vehicle here. https://www.teslaearthy.com/traded-my-ice-vehicle-for-here-s-how-it-went https://www.teslaearthy.com/traded-my-ice-vehicle-for-tesla-model-y-s-how-it-went. I was particularly keen to see what differences, if any, I would notice in the more affordable trim. Would I miss the features I've grown accustomed to in my premium Model Y? Let's dive into my initial impressions after spending the first 24 hours with the Standard. Aesthetic appeal: does less mean less attractive? First off, let's talk about looks. The absence of the light bar on the Standard model isn't a deal-breaker for me. In fact, some might argue, and I'm leaning this way, that the Model Y Standards, see https://www.teslaearthy.com/tesla-launches-standard-model-3-model-y-affordable- https://www.teslaearthy.com/tesla-launches-standard-model-y-affordable- more traditional headlight design is just as aesthetically pleasing. The car maintains its sleek, modern look overall. You won't find any drastic differences externally, besides the missing light bars on the front and rear. It's still a head-turner. But here's where it gets controversial. Some people love the light bar and feel it's a defining feature of the premium Model Y. What do you think? Is it a must-have, or can you live without it? Stepping inside, where the real differences emerge. Now, let's get to the meat of the matter, the interior. This is where the more significant changes reside, and where I started to notice the absence of some features I've come to rely on in my premium Model Y. If I didn't already own the premium version, I'm not sure I'd initially miss some of these features. But after having them, I suspect I'd eventually find their absence annoying. First impressions. Interior excellence. The interior is still excellent, don't get me wrong. However, I immediately missed the extra storage space available in my premium. I could probably adjust, though. Sound system downgrade. There's a noticeable step down in the sound system quality. I like to use Long Time by Boston as a sound system test. While it still sounds decent in the Standard, it lacks the oomph and clarity of the premium system. Storage solutions, a hidden advantage. The premium Model Y boasts a handy storage compartment between the cup holders and the wireless charger, a feature absent in the Standard trim. Instead, the Standard offers a pass-through and floor storage area, similar to what you find in the Cybertruck. While the pass-through is a nice addition, I personally find the enclosed storage of the premium more useful, especially for someone like me who films full self-driving videos and needs to haul around mounts, GoPros, and other accessories. And this is the part most people miss. The sleekness of the premium trim storage solutions is also a plus for me. I appreciate the ability to close those compartments and cover the cup holders for a cleaner look. Of course, this is a relatively minor issue and not a substantial factor in the overall ownership experience. If I weren't already a premium owner, I might not even notice or care. Material matters: vegan leather versus textile hybrid. The seats in the premium trim are entirely vegan leather, which I actually enjoy, even though I'm not typically a fan of leather seats due to their temperature sensitivity. The Standard trim features a textile and vegan hybrid, with different materials used for different seat sections. The textile material is quite similar to what I had in my previous car, a Bronco Sport. It proved to be durable, easy to clean, quick drying, and effectively hid things like skin oils that can require constant attention on leather surfaces to maintain a fresh appearance. The wireless charger also differs in material. The premium uses Alcantara, while the standard has a rubberized and textured backing. Both are perfectly functional and aesthetically pleasing, so this is more of a cosmetic difference. The missing pieces, ambient lighting and the panoramic roof. The standard trim lacks a few minor features, most notably ambient lighting. However, the biggest omission, and something I genuinely miss, is the glass roof. Many people told me that I wouldn't even notice the glass roof after a few weeks of owning my Model Y. They couldn't have been more wrong. I find myself looking out of it constantly, and it's one of my family's favorite features. My fiancé and I love parking and watching Netflix while waiting for food pickups, especially when it's raining, because the glass roof provides such a fantastic view. We also appreciated it during the fall months, as it offered stunning views of the foliage. This is a luxury many standard Model Y owners will miss out on. Sound and silence, the acoustic divide. Beyond the cosmetic differences, there are some more significant impacts on the overall cabin experience, particularly concerning the sound system and cabin noise. Much weaker sound system. The Model Y standard has only 7 speakers and 1 amp, with no subwoofer. This is a considerable downgrade from the 13 to 15 speakers, 2 amps, and subwoofer found in the premium long-range AWD Model Y. As I mentioned earlier, listening to Long Time by Boston revealed a noticeable lack of punch and depth in the standard sound system. Cabin noise, a quieter ride, a higher price. The level of cabin noise also seems more noticeable in the standard, which is something I truly appreciate about my premium Model Y. It effectively dampens road noise from louder vehicles, creating a significantly quieter and more comfortable driving experience. The standard, on the other hand, doesn't feel as quiet. This could be the biggest deal-breaker for me personally. I've been spoiled by the tranquility of the premium's cabin, largely due to the inclusion of acoustic-lined glass, which the standard lacks. Final thoughts, for now. So, is the premium Model Y worth the extra cost? It depends on your priorities. If you value a premium sound system, quieter cabin, extra storage, and the panoramic glass roof, then the upgrade is likely justified. However, if you're primarily focused on affordability and don't mind sacrificing some of these luxuries, the standard Model Y is still a fantastic electric vehicle. I'll be posting a more in-depth review of the Model Y standard later this week, focusing on ride quality and overall performance. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the premium features are worth the extra money? Or is the standard Model Y the sweet spot for value? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.